Welcome back to another episode of Graps Yaps. This is your go-to podcast for everything that is pro wrestling. It's where we're going to recap what's happened inside and outside of the ring from the last week of wrestling, and whether you're a lifelong fan like us or you're just a victim of the wrestling algorithm. We thank you for being here. We hope you enjoy. I'm Phil Fresh, one half of the show, joined by TF, Tony Free, sporting I'm going to say it's a orange. Is that a what is that, a GWS orange hoodie, I would assume?
It's a TMDK orange hoodie. Shout out Robbie Eagles.
Oh, I should have known. Did you buy that when we were at
You
PWA?
do not know ball. Yeah, a while ago. A while ago now.
Oh, this is an OG
This
one.
is when. This is when
Robbie, it at that show?
Robbie versus Tuckman for the Soul of PWA Championship.
Yeah.
A little while ago.
I do recall. Yeah, it's been a while since we've gone to a PWA show. I mean, obviously there's been a bit of a break, but hopefully we can change that in a couple of weeks' time.
Next Friday.
Actually, speaking of PWA, is that next Friday?
Yeah, dropped out.
No,
next
I think Friday after.
Am I getting my weeks wrong? May 29 is next week.
I think it's the Friday after, 29th.
Days are now the 14th. Yeah, okay.
No.
2 weeks.
Incorrect. It's 2 weeks. Speaking of PWA, though, did you see Jimmy Townsend? He came back. Sorry, I didn't write this down at all, but you just reminded me. Jimmy Townsend back from Canada and the States, making a shock return. Maybe could we expect him at dropped out?
Possibly. Popped up in IWA for Tuckman's title versus career match, which I thought they were telegraphing something here by having a career match for his IWA career, but Tuckman got the win thanks to Jimmy Townsend. So yeah, maybe he's around for the next couple of weeks. I wouldn't be surprised to see him at
interesting stuff. Things are happening.
PWA dropped out.
Yeah. Well, look, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be going through the matches at Backlash, also going through what's happened on Raw, maybe some bits and pieces from the week as well. But before we get into that, let's talk about a TF. West Ham, Arsenal. This was a Monday morning for us. Arsenal getting the win without, there was some controversy there. What was your thoughts? What was your takeaway on that disallowed goal?
Fair enough. There was an arm there holding the keeper back.
Oh,
What can you do? We've had our chances, but far out. Like Spurs, they couldn't get the job done on Tuesday morning, so it keeps us alive for now. Very scary stuff. 2 games to go.
There's still much more to play. Yeah, it could have gone either way. I think when we had Nick Stav on, Nick was calling for a West Ham screw job, and we didn't get it the way that he described. We actually got it in the fashion of a disallowed goal that they were checking for what felt like an hour. But yeah, I mean, look, if you're saying it as a West Ham fan, if you're calling it like that, you know what? I can respect that. I think we all can believe that. I've seen people having a whinge online talking about it. I'm like, guys, it's done. Move on. So let's just do that. Let's get into our recap of the week. And let's start with the main event of Backlash, the Tribal Chief defeating Jacob Fatu, retaining his World Heavyweight Championship. But what we saw on Backlash and what we saw on Raw, he was flat on his back. Tony Free, let's talk about it.
Yeah, Roman Reigns got his ass beat, and Roman Reigns had to, pull out a few of his old sneaky ways to get the win here against Jacob by using the turnbuckle and, some ref bumps to get the win. And Jacob just beat the shit out of him.
Bump.
Jacob absolutely beat the shit out of him after this match. And that continued on Raw. So, yeah, this could go on for, at least a few months at the moment. I don't see this slowing down anytime soon.
No way.
Yeah, I thought the match was really good at Backlash, though.
Dude, I think we're going to get through it, but I thought Backlash overall, all the matches, from top to bottom, it was a pretty solid show. But this match in particular, yeah, dude, they went in. I mean, the build was great. We spoke about it on, we spoke about it on this show, and I felt like the match delivered. Jacob Fatu was ready for it. He brought that intensity. Roman matched him. A different kind of intensity to their match at WrestleMania between Roman and Punk. But I loved it. It was great. And again, Jacob, yeah, after the match at Backlash, just hitting it with the death grip, standing tall, holding that belt, and still getting cheered. Like I know it's not like, I guess on paper, right? Doing that, it's like it's heelish behavior. But for some reason, I don't know what it is. Is it just because he's over Tony Free? Like, what do you like? Because I'm watching it and going, hell yeah, man, do that. Like, what? Why does this not feel like a proper heel turn?
Well, I think because Roman doesn't really have like a set role at the moment. He's still kind of doing heel things as well, even though he's over. So yeah, these two guys, I guess, like blurring the lines of the traditional heel versus face, kind of similar to like CM Punk and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. We never really established, that was never really set as a heel versus face feud, and this is kind of the same. Even though, like, I guess Jacob Fatu's going to like the extremes to get over Roman here. So yeah, I feel like it's just two super over guys. And I don't think there is supposed to be a heel or a face here. It's just literally like this is family business.
I was talking about it with he's mentioning family business with Dave Woodhead in the office the other day, and he was like, he actually used that as well. He's just like, I don't even think I have a say in this because it's family stuff. Like, I could sit here and like pick it apart, but like, I don't think it's my place to say it because I'm not in this. I'm not in the bloodline. I'm not in this family. We saw it spill over into Raw, where Roman is, he's waiting for that acknowledgement. He beat Jacob. He wants that acknowledgement. The Usos are waiting for Jacob to arrive to the arena, but Jacob just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to bar it. Barely even lets Roman get his word out. Takes out Jay, takes out Jimmy, and ultimately takes out Roman. And then, dude, huge spot. I really enjoyed this. As he's walking off the ramp, turns back around, hits him with that like Umaga bump into that I don't know what you call it, that barricade. Standing tall, bro, huge pop. He looks like a menace, and yeah, I don't think that's clearly that's not the end of it. We got Saturday night's main event. I think that's next week, but I don't know if we're going to be getting a match there. Do you reckon we're going to be getting it in Italy?
Possibly. I think Roman was supposed. I can't remember what Roman's advertised dates were, but like I know he did have some European dates in there, so maybe the Italy PLE does feature in one of them. Because when Saturday night's main event, is that before or after Clash in Italy?
It's before.
Do you remember?
I think it's like
It's
two or
before.
1 week. No, probably two. Yeah, probably two.
I guess it would make sense for it to be at Clash in Italy, like with the timing of things. So, um, yeah, I guess it would be. If
You know
Roman's
what?
like
He
advertised to go to
is.
Europe, he should be there.
Yeah, confirmed. He's actually on every Raw in the lead up. So next week, the week after, the week, and then that same week is Clash, Raw after that, and then the week after that back in America. Oh, he's actually got heaps. Yeah, this is recent. This is 2 days ago. I swear, were we talking about it last week about his dates being messed up? Literally
Yeah,
two
it's
days
June
ago,
dates.
they've just put it up on the WWE Twitter. Yeah, no, he's running through.
Well, there you
Oh,
go.
it's the June days. Yeah, so he's doing the first 3 weeks of June. Actually, the fake news, fake news. He's there, man. That's the OTC. It's the island of relevancy there. I wonder what is like the next step here. Like Jacob is clearly not, he's not falling in line. The Usos are going to feel a type of way about this. There's been interactions with Solo. I mean, Sami Zayn, which we'll get to later. He's done with that. Paul Heyman has been. There was one line, and again, we'll get to it later on during SmackDown where he's talking to Cody, where Heyman quote. This is the quote, right? Sooner or later, they all need the wise man. And I'm saying like, yeah, he didn't just say that for no reason, because the wise man only refers to the bloodline. He didn't say advocate. He didn't say the oracle. He specifically said the wise man. So I wonder if they're just like, if they know what they're doing, or if they're just planting seeds and seeing where the journey will take them. But yeah, man, I think Jacob's doing a fantastic job. Roman obviously doing his thing. I'm interested to see where this goes. Let's talk about Io Sky and Asuka at Backlash, and more importantly, what actually happened after the match, 23.
Yeah, well, it was a really good match. And like before we get to the ending, like this has been a story that's gone on for over 6 months. It might even be bordering on like almost 12 months. We didn't get the payoff that we probably thought we were going to get months, weeks ago. Obviously, like with Kairi Sane leaving the WWE, we never got that the ending to that part of it. So I guess it all had to come to a head. So a bit of a weird ending, I guess, if you look at it that way, with everything considered, all that storyline that's been built up. We never got the payoff of that. But what we got here was, it looked like a goodbye for now from Asuka.
Dude, it's completely unexpected. Like, I thought it was a nice, it's a nice moment at the end where if it was just that, but it looked way more emotional. I mean, they were both crying. Io Sky was bowing down. We saw that fall into Raw as well, where Asuka congratulates Io backstage. Saying, I'm so glad to see you grow and how well that you've done and what you've become as well. You mentioned Kairi Sane. I mean, last week, TF, you did speculate. I also saw someone comment, I think on the IG post when they posted the results. Someone was just like, this match was awesome, except for when Kairi Sane didn't come back. And I feel like you're part to blame there, Tony Ferry. Yeah, unfortunately, you've set this guy up, expecting Kairi Sane, but we did not get it. Did you put on what did we say last week? What was your percentage on Kairi Sane coming back? I want to say it was low. I can't remember.
I think I said like max 25%.
I love how specific you get with the numbers. You're like, nah, probably it's looking like a 25% of that one. But yeah, Asuka maybe. I mean, we don't know what the word is on her contract, like how long. Whether this is the end of the contract or if she's just gone away for a bit. Will she come back? I don't know anything at the very least. Do you know anything in regards to Asuka's contract?
No. I think she re-signed in 2023 or 24. And I think at that time, like a lot of the contract renewals were like long-term, like 5-year deals. So I think this is more of like a hiatus for Asuka. I think she's just going to have some time off. Okay. Maybe she could have like 6 months to a year off, but I think, she'll come back. I don't think it's a retirement at all.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, it was a nice reminder about who Asuka was and, what she's done. Like, so it was nice seeing a lot of people like, post photos, and a lot of the wrestlers as well were posting nice little photos and on social media, and people just reminiscing, I guess, on just some of what she's done in the WWE so far. So I guess that's, watch that space. We'll see what happens going on from there. We also saw Io Sky face Sol Ruka on Raw. It seems like they're starting to, they're filling in the IC championship, that title picture. We didn't see Becky Lynch though, but what do you reckon? Io Sky, Sol Ruka, one or the other, or both?
I'd say Sol Ruka.
Okay.
We had her with Becky last week. Io, I think, should be pushing for that world title picture still. Whenever this Judgment Day saga comes to a head, Io should kind of be there next in line. But Sol Ruka, like, since she's debuted, has not won a match yet, which I think is and that includes
How many
NXT.
matches has she had?
She's had 3.
Since she's officially signed to Raw.
Yeah, I think she had the match against Liv. She had the match against Zarya, which was like a send-off on NXT. And then she's lost to Io now, so she's 0-3 since she's been up on the main roster.
Hey, you know what? And maybe this is a tell on, like, who she is as a performer. I didn't even know that. Honestly, like even though she hasn't won a match, it doesn't feel like she's lost anything.
Hey, I know
I thought the
this
match.
because what's going to happen is they're going to make her the number one contender, and I'm going to turn around and say, "Oh, but she hasn't won a match. She's probably like 0-7 by the time they give her a chance at the Intercontinental Championship." Because that's just one of my big gripes with WWE is that they give, title matches to people who aren't winning matches to begin with.
Okay.
So she'll likely be the
I'm
number
trying
one
to go through
contender
the
now.
card now. Like who's got a title match? I mean, Jacob Fatu is probably going to get a title match. So do you reckon it just like regardless of the storyline, but more so the wins and losses, like you lose, back of the line. That's how you feel about it. It should just be that way.
Yeah, like Finn Balor getting a World Heavyweight Championship match in February when he hadn't won it. He'd won, I think, maybe one or two singles matches in the space of 18 months. Like, that doesn't make sense at all. You should be,
Who
picking up wins to get a title shot.
Who would you have done that, or would you just not have? You wouldn't have had CM Punk defender back then, or would you have replaced Finn with someone else?
I would have replaced Finn with someone else. Probably someone I can't remember now who was around at that stage that was winning matches.
Yeah,
and
who would
wasn't
you have
involved
gone
in another
though?
storyline? But if no one's like a serious contender, you just don't have a title match. Pretty simple. Until you find a contender who's actually winning matches, which they can do. They can book the show
I'm
way. They can build people up.
Yeah. I'm learning in real time that you and I we have very different perspectives on this. You're like so like it's like what was it? Is it subjective? It's subjective when it's like it's numbers, it's statistics, right? That's subjective.
I think I'm just more realistic.
Realistic, nah, actually, that's a better way. Yeah, you're more realistic with it. I'm like, nah, you gotta just. I'm more, I guess, theatrical with it. I'm like, nah, but this guy's hot, and this is the storyline, and it makes sense in storyline wise. You're like, nah, mate. If this was an NRL ladder, you'd be down the bottom. You'd be sacked.
You'd be fucking wooden spooner. You don't get a wooden spooner in the grand final.
Well, look, I'm keen to get your thoughts on this, and actually, I'm hoping you can clear this up. The announcement that John Cena made at Backlash was announcing a new tournament, a new championship. It's called the John Cena Classic. My understanding of it is that you're going to get new talent against old talent, and you don't necessarily have to win the match to like move on. And there's a new championship involved. I was kind of. I mean, actually, let's talk about the announcement itself first, and then we can get into it. Did you understand what the hell he was talking about when he was announcing it? It didn't even sound like he knew what was going on.
No, he had no idea. This is a terrible, terrible idea. And I said last week, I'm like, I bet this announcement is underwhelming. It's supposed to be history making. I don't think anyone's still talking about. I don't think anyone was talking about it 2 minutes after it happened, about how this is history making or how this is monumental. This is such a forgettable, it's a forgettable tournament and it's a forgettable announcement.
Oh man. Yeah, look, I don't really understand how
he was trying so hard
work.
to sell it as well. He was trying so hard and it just never got across.
Well, it sounded like the reaction live and Backlash was like, wow. But like online, everyone was kind of like, what? What are we doing again? Like, how does this work? Like, you don't have to win the match? So then it's like, I mean, if you really do, but then you go, well, it's now you're just, you're showing your card now. You're saying, yeah, it actually doesn't even matter who wins. It doesn't matter who wins, guys. Like, everyone gets a turn, like, kind of thing. I don't know. I really don't know. And if there's like an event for this, or if this takes place like over a certain amount of time, like this was weird overall. I actually don't even know if I enjoy this.
Look, no surprise that I fucking hate this. So, I have no time for it. Like when he said like, "Oh, we're gonna vote," I was like, "Oh, maybe this will be like a Cyber Sunday, Taboo Tuesday thing if we're voting on something."
Yeah.
But then it was just like, "Oh yeah, we're having these matches." And you can win or lose, but you can still be the winner, even if you lost. And I'm just like, Well, what's the point of the match? You can just vote anyway. Just vote for your favorite
What?
superstar, and you don't have
Yeah,
to have a
what's
match.
the point?
There's literally no point. And if this will be a this will be a PLE or something, watch. Like this will be the most useless PLE.
Oh gosh.
And they're gonna like what? It sounded like this is gonna be a championship because John Cena himself said, "I'm putting my name against this championship." So there's gonna be some stupid belt made for this like ceremonial once a month or once a year thing, which probably won't happen again next year. Let's be real.
I don't understand the reason for even including it. Yeah. Yeah, and you just know, like, with the voting system, majority of people are just going to be taking the piss. Like, if it's whether we vote who's in the matches or who deserves, like, we could be seeing, like, I guess like the go-to point would be like Danhausen winning the whole thing. I could just see everyone voting for Danhausen, even though it might be Danhausen over Femi in the final, right? And Femi absolutely whoops him, and Danhausen will still be the winner at the end of it. Like I don't. This just seems like a disaster waiting to happen.
Well, like the
I'm
fans aren't
thinking
going to
about all the
vote.
names. Yeah, you go.
Well, they're not going to vote for like what's actually happening from bell to bell in the match. They're going to vote for like what they know about the superstar. So, like, if you're a ride or die, let's say you're a ride or die Trick Williams fan, you're not voting on Trick Williams for what he's doing in that match. You're voting for Trick Williams being Trick Williams since he's made his main roster debut. So, like, what's the point of actually having the match anyway?
Yeah. Yeah, what is like literally what's the point? If I mean, I think that they're still I saw Jan saying that they were still trying to figure out like the logistics of this John Cena classic.
They'll never figure it out.
So maybe there'll be some sort of
It's
no
it's
hope.
fucking
If
terrible.
you could put a put a number on it, Tony, what's the percentage of them working it out?
Oh, 10. Oh, they'll say they worked it out, but it's going to
10.
be executed. It's going to be executed extremely poorly.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you had to decide, if pick a name who you would just, no matter what, you'd be voting for till the very end. Anyone on the card, pick a name right now. Who are you going for?
I'd probably do something stupid like one of the Lost Gaza guys or something. After they just got squashed this week on
Bro,
Raw.
yeah.
Like that's what's
You
going to
know
happen.
who I'll be voting for, and
They're just going to
I actually
vote for
think,
someone stupid.
I think it won't happen, but I will be voting every week for Jey Uso to get through, just to see the absolute discourse on social media when he when he wins that John Cena Classic.
God,
Oh man, yeah,
I
a lot of
seriously,
questions
I
about
can't
this
see
one.
this. I can't see this being a long term thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, if you wanted us to vote, just bring back Cyber Sunday. Let's just do that. Especially with the way social media's running these days, it could just work way better in this day and age. All right, well, let's move on to what opened Backlash on the weekend. It was again, another solid match between Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. Braun Breaker taking the win on that one. What were your thoughts on the match?
Really good. I'll say Backlash was a really good PLE, like top to bottom. Besides the John Cena
Yeah.
announcement, really good PLE. So I thought all the matches slapped, even one we'll get into a bit later. But yeah, like great way to open this show. Like I said, this feud was being built up like it was one of the WrestleMania storylines, and I guess like with a little bit of luck, this match would have been on WrestleMania and one of the main matches on WrestleMania. So yeah, it was cool to see this happening a few weeks later. Yeah, really built the Backlash PLE up, and yeah, great way to start. Love the match. I guess like we did see the Bron Breaker would be winning this, but and with all the interference and things like that, that all made sense. But I think it was the right decision for Bron Breaker to get the win.
It was a good one, and it also feels like Backlash. Um, it's almost like Triple H responding to all the shit that he had to go through booking WrestleMania with TKO like hovering over his shoulder. It's like, all right, sweet, these guys are gone now. Let's actually do what we know what to do, which is like put on like a great show. That it feels like that's what Backlash was. it was like a retaliation of some sort to the TKO of it all. But yeah, that was a great match, solid match. Braun Breaker getting the win. It's a big win for Braun Breaker, but it's not the end of the feud. We saw it spill out into Raw when the Vision. It was the Vision and sorry, it was Braun Breaker, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory up against the Street Profits and Joe Hendry. Seth Rollins getting involved, helping the Street Profits and Hendry get the win. But there seems to still be, there's still, it's not all good in the hood when it comes to Street Profits and Seth Rollins. We see them, having disagreements backstage again. Seth kind of, letting Braun Breaker spear Angelo Dawkins. But we're getting a tag match. We're getting the Vision defending the championships against the Street Profits at Saturday night's main event. What do you reckon about this? Do you reckon that the bigger feud here is between Seth and the Street Profits rather than the Profits and the Vision?
It's kind of feeling that way at the moment. That's why I can't really get a good grasp on what's happening, or if this is even like, or if it's actually good. I can't really tell at the moment. Like, I'm not sure what the direction is and what they're trying to achieve here. It kind of feels like it's a little bit messy in with that kind of considered. So yeah, I'm not sure if I even like the fact that the Street Profits and Seth are mixed up in all of this and interacting in this way. I like to see them, I guess, like I feel like Seth Rollins should be a lone wolf at the moment, and I don't need him kind of bleeding into the Street Profits storyline right now.
I'm actually well around it. I've been waiting on a Montez Ford moment, and if we get it here between him and Seth, they're planting seeds. We're seeing where how it grows and what happens from there. I'm not mad at it, man. I think we've seen like the Street Profits return like multiple times, and they like come back and before it's kind of like, oh, it's the Street Profits, but this time around feels different. This time around it's like, oh, what? There's a bit of sauce to it. Like, I don't know. They've been in the game long enough, and maybe things seem to be clicking. But I'm excited to see how this goes. I mean, they're both in storyline. They're both valid. Seth is trying to like get involved with Braun, but he's getting in the way of the Profits, and the Profits are saying, "Yo, we're not doing this for you, bro. Like, we're not mates like that. We're trying to get the gold. Like, you're in the way as well." So I disagree. I'm excited to see how this story develops over time. And speaking of story developments, this has been happening in the background of backstage segments. But we saw as the Vision were leaving Theory and Logan Paul. Maxine Dupree was spotted inside the car, headed out. What do you make of this, Tony Free? Are we getting Logan Paul and Theory splitting and having Maxine Dupree manage these two? Like what's happening?
So Maxine's in the car, and Jackie is asking Austin Theory a question, and Austin Theory doesn't even recognize the question that she has asked, and just says, "So, do you want to ride?" Like asking her to come in the car as well, with Maxine already in there. Is Austin Theory's new persona just going to be like him rizzing up all the female talent in WWE? I don't mind it if it is. It'll be funny.
Hey man, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess it would. Funny would be a word that I would use to describe that. I don't know if I feel like that's gonna be if that's the move or not, but yeah, I don't know. I took it as like, okay, maybe we're gonna be getting that split finally, because again, even when they were opening up Raw Division, all three of them, and Paul, it still did not look like a group that makes sense. They don't even look like friends. So if this means like this is how we, split them up, not in a way of like, one has to turn on the other, but it's like, all right, Paul, you're with Braun, Maxine, you handle the tag team champions. I'm cool with that. That's fine by me. If that's how it has to be, I'm rocking with it. So yeah, look, that's how I feel about that. But let's talk about this, because this is my favorite of the last week of wrestling. This was my favorite. the United States champion Trick Williams defending against Sami Zayn. Matter of fact, defeating Sami Zayn at Backlash. But before we talk about this match and everything else, we got to talk about this funeral for the Gingerbread Man. This funeral segment, this whole, thing, it took up the whole episode of SmackDown. They kept cutting the backstage of people, showing their respects. The R-Truth was involved. Ray Phoenix was involved. Nick Aldis was involved. We had edits of the Gingerbread Man at some of the most iconic moments in WWE history, whether he was, there when Randy and Elizabeth got back together again, when Stone Cold got arrested. And then you get to the service. My God. Mind you, Trick Willie in all black. We've never seen him in all black, not since he's come up to the main roster. He's always been in all white, in all black for the funeral. We've got a choir. We got a damn performance as well. And then just the cherry on top was Sami Zayn coming out, taking him out. And then Undertaker style, Gingerbread Man sitting up. Who is it? It's Lil Yachty hitting him with the kendo stick as Lil Yachty and Trick Willie stand tall. Now, you know where I stand on this. I'm a fan of this. I've said it on here. Lil Yachty has been doing fantastic. Now it's time to hear. It's time to hear what we're all here to hear. Here to hear. Tony Free, your thoughts on the segment and whether or not Lil Yachty, your stance on Lil Yachty has changed.
I'll be honest. I didn't even watch SmackDown this week, and I feel like I didn't miss anything.
You're hearing
either.
that for the first time.
I knew what happened. Like I didn't watch SmackDown live. I watched little clips here and there after SmackDown aired. So like, I figured out a long time ago that that's all I need now to be up to date on what's happening on SmackDown. I don't need to sit through the whole show because most of it's trash. But like this segment, I actually didn't mind. The clips that clips that I saw from this segment, I didn't mind. I actually am liking Little Yachty's work at the moment, and he was doing some good work as well on Backlash.
Okay, we heard it.
So
we got it.
He's slowly getting some love from me. I still want to see a little bit more, but he's taking baby steps at the moment. But like the segment itself, I laughed when I saw all the reports and stuff about the creative pushback for the Gingerbread Man. But yeah, like this is it's just it's sports entertainment, but I don't know if I'd call it entertaining.
You just said you liked it.
I liked it, but like it's not like Danhausen at Backlash. That's my new bar now for like sports entertainment.
What do you mean? How is that not? Wait, hold on. You're saying they're on different levels? That's a 100%. Different level of entertainment. 100%. It's the exact same.
Danhausen set a new standard for what sports entertainment needs to be right now. So like the Gingerbread Man, if I look at it by itself, I'm like, yeah, like this is like it gets a pass. But then when I'm like looking at like work that Danhausen's putting in on the same show, parallels apart, and there's only room for one segment of this stuff. We don't need this. As much as I did like it by itself, when I see the Danhausen stuff later, it makes more sense. It's just, yeah. Unfortunately,
hey man,
I can't have this every week.
I can't have this every week. Them. You are not telling me
this is why
Danhausen making a what did he call it? The machine, like
the clone machine.
What was the name of that machine that he made? The clone machine. You are not telling me that Danhausen doing it backstage, putting things into beakers and test tubes and smoke and all that into a cloning machine, only for it to come out with mini Hausens, is on a different level of entertainment to Lil Yachty being dressed up as a dead gingerbread man and having a funeral service. They are not different. They are on the same level of entertainment. They're both stupid, but it's fun. You are not telling me that they are different.
They are the same.
Why do we only need one?
We only need one. Let's get back to like actual material on SmackDown. I'm not here to watch freaking Stuff made for 6 to 8 year olds. I need one segment of that. I don't need two of them.
Oh my gosh, man. You just gotta have
Or,
fun, Tony Free. You can't be watching it going, oh,
or,
there's only room for one of these
hey, look,
things.
simple fix. One of them's on Raw, one of them's on SmackDown, and I'm happy. Problem solved. SmackDown's 2 hours
You want
now.
balance.
We can't have 20 minutes of just, you know, sports entertainment segments when like half of the show's ads. It's cutting into too much wrestling. We need to bring the Graps back.
Oh my gosh.
Split them up. One
what graphs
segment
are you
Raw,
trying to see on
one
SmackDown?
segment
What
SmackDown.
graphs are you trying to see?
Hey, I need to see this women's division getting more shine on
What
SmackDown
graphs?
right now. This women's division is getting shat on
Oh
every week on
man.
SmackDown, every single week. One segment on Raw, one segment
Hey
SmackDown.
man.
Problem solved. They can both be good. You just can't have them both on the
All
same
right.
show.
All right. All right. Yeah, look, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, let's talk about, the match itself. Again, this is another one that added to, what we've been saying, today, where it felt like Backlash was a response to what WrestleMania should have been. This was a great match, Trick. This is better than their match at WrestleMania, I thought.
100%. And hopefully now, Sami Zayn, get out of the US title picture. I don't need to see you there anymore. You've had your shot. You lost your
Yeah.
title. You had your rematch. You lost that. Back of the line. Get out of here.
What are your thoughts on him getting involved in the bloodline of it all? Is that what they're doing? Are they freeing it up, or do you see him doing something else?
I don't know. I think with Gunther being involved in the Cody Rhodes of it all now, I could see Sammy getting involved with Gunther if Gunther does take that title. We got some history there.
Interesting. But as a face? Because he's getting booed to hell.
Yeah, it's. I can't see him being a heel for
I think he's
that long.
I think he commits to the heel stuff. I think he commits to the booing. Like, I think that's the people have made their mind up. The crowds have made their mind up. They're like, right, get this guy out of here.
Maybe he heals up against Cody.
Yeah, maybe. You know what? I could see it go down like that. I could see that for sure. And I'd be well around that, actually. That's a good idea.
Well, like they've planted the seeds, like pre WrestleMania for that. So it's something they could go with now. And I guess if Sammy's like pressing Cody again, Cody can just turn around and say, "Oh, hey, expected more of you. You had the US Championship, lost that. Now what are you doing?" Like, you just continue like that narrative that they were kind of telling before WrestleMania with Sami Zayn around that title picture, and him kind of being a bit jealous and not making the most of his opportunities. It's something they could go into. I just don't know if it'll work in terms of like everything else they have going on with Gunther now on SmackDown. Like Drew will still pop up somewhere here and there throughout the year, and like in terms of like PLEs, like it's Cody versus Sammy is not going to be a SummerSlam thing. So like we're not building to that over the next few months.
No, probably not. Hey, well, I mean, Clash of Champions is coming up. Oh, wait, is that? Oh, that's champion against champion, right? Or is that Crown Jewel? God,
That's
I
Crown
can't
Jewel.
keep up.
Night of Champions.
Which one is it?
Night of Champions. I think last year we had John Cena versus CM
Yeah, that
Punk
could be.
Night of Champions.
It's in Riyadh.
So
Night of Champions, they're in Riyadh, and then they could do Sammy. He's bloody. He's the man over there, so they could make something work.
that could be a spot. World Championship match at Night of Champions.
Yeah,
One and done, I think.
I like that. What about Trick? What about Trick Willie? Like, do you have anything in mind for him? I think, what I've just thought of, and it's someone who we haven't seen, although he has been on Raw, but I mean, a Trick Williams LA Knight feud. I just imagine the promos there. Like, that could be something.
Yeah. What are they doing with LA Knight? That's a good question. They need to find.
I want to say I saw things of him getting hurt.
Did he get taken out after Mania or before Mania? I can't remember now. Where is our guy?
Oh, that's it. I don't know.
Every time we think he's
Yeah.
like,
Look,
slowly, making his way up the mountain, they just fucking push him back down to the bottom of the thing and back into the wilderness.
I I can't remember. Can I be honest? I can't remember the last time I thought that about LA Knight. I feel like he's always, unfortunately, he is great, but like the last time I remember him actually like working his way up was when he was fighting Roman, and that was like 2 years ago now. But ever since then, he's just been kind of like treading water, which maybe some with Trick will maybe that's the spot to be, but we'll see. Last match on Backlash, Danhausen and the Minihausens defeat the Miz and Kit Wilson.
Awesome.
Your thoughts
Fucking
on the
loved it.
level of sports entertainment you got from? Oh, so this one's awesome.
This was perfect. This was great because they
Oh
sold
my God.
they sold like multiple swerves here because we all thought we were getting CM Punk, and then at like
Mm.
the reaction at first when Minihausen came out, everyone was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, we hate this stuff. Like this is shit." But then it actually got really good. Minihausen was going off. Like he was doing some cool shit. He was showing out,
Was
and then
that
like
who was that?
Mini, what's his name, Mini Toro or something.
Was that El Torito? Was that was
El,
that is that a fake news that I saw?
maybe it was
That was
El
the guy that was
Torito.
playing El Torito?
Yeah, maybe it was.
It was. Yeah, I think
Anyway,
it was. Yeah, confirmed. Yeah, yeah,
anyway, he was going off in that ring, but then like the spot where
yeah.
where Kit throws him back into the claw machine, I was like, oh, this is where we get CM Punk. CM Punk's going to come out as like, a Danhausen version of CM Punk, and then they got me again, and then there's multiple mini Hausens coming out. I was very entertained. I loved it.
Yeah, that was a really nice part. See, and also the way the smoke cleared out, and you could only see one, and then all of a sudden there's like six of them running out. That was pretty funny. That was awesome. I enjoyed that. I think that's us for Backlash. Is there anything else that happened in the week of wrestling that you want to touch on, Tony Free?
Well, apparently Cody Rhodes and Gunther are set for Clash in Italy. So it feels like whenever we get a clash in Europe now, Gunther is your go-to guy for a title match.
Yeah, in Torino, Italy, Cody and Gunther, which I'm expecting to be a good one. That was Heyman's favor that he owed Gunther was setting up the match. And a couple of weeks time, I think it's at the end of the month or maybe at the start of June.
Wait, so this is the
Seeing how
favor?
that goes down in Italy. Yeah, this is the favor. Oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah, that's right. You didn't watch SmackDown.
no, I didn't. So I missed the part
You didn't
where
watch
like,
SmackDown. So
well, that's very underwhelming. If this is the favor that he owes, Brock Lesnar really has
mm.
called it a day.
Hey man, I'm telling you, bro, that I don't think you can recreate the way Brock's career ended. Like it's like, you know what I mean? It's like we already said goodbye, and then he comes back. He's like, "No, guys, this is goodbye." It's like, well, we already did that. We did it, man. Thanks.
Well,
Bye. See you later.
they
Bye.
obviously they obviously went against all the creative that they were trying to build here because that's a very underwhelming way to say, "Yep, this is the favor. I'm getting a world title match." Was that it? You could have just
How
asked
was
for
that
that on your own.
underwhelming?
He could have got that thing on his own. He
Yeah, I
he
guess.
he is well
I
like
guess. I
when we're talking
guess.
about winning matches, Gunther is well within his rights to say, "Oh, hey, look at all these guys I've beaten. I deserve a world title match." 100% he does. He doesn't need a favor for that.
Gunther won at WrestleMania, right?
He did. Beat Seth Rollins.
Yeah. Right.
Before that, retired AJ
Hey
Styles.
man.
Before
Hey,
that,
you gotta
retired John
you, you,
Cena.
you gotta stop. You gotta stop watching. You gotta stop watching wrestling and asking for it to be realistic when it is not real.
This is the ring general we're talking about.
It's a
This
show.
guy,
It's fake.
this guy Gunther is the one person that epitomizes like authenticity and realism in wrestling. If it doesn't apply to him, they're not doing the right job. He is the guy. If he is winning matches, he is the guy that says, "Yep, I should be getting a title match," because he's the ring general. He's the guy that you're supposed to believe is supposed to be, this guy that they're building up as, if you win matches, you deserve title matches, and they do it with him because he has one of the best win loss records in WWE history on the main roster.
he could do it, yeah. But the storyline, you gotta get there, man. You gotta add, certain pieces to the puzzle to get a bigger picture of things, man. There's now Heyman. He did a favor for Heyman. Heyman owes him this.
Is
Now
Heyman going to
there's
be in his
ties
corner?
between Heyman and Gunther. There's ties between Heyman and Cody. Hey, well, that's the thing. We don't know. It's still,
Watch this.
that's
I
what
bet
they're
he
doing.
isn't.
They're
I
planning
bet
little
he isn't.
things and they're going, keep an eye out.
If he's not in his corner,
Probably
they've done
not.
this.
I think.
They've done this
Well,
no justice.
oh well, actually, and if you'd watched SmackDown, you would know this. Cody was like to Heyman, he's like, hey, you know, Roman dropped you, Punk dropped you. Now you're here doing this with Gunther. Are you running out of options? And then that's when Heyman said, no, it sounds like you're running out of options because sooner or later they all need the wise man. So that's what that is. They're like kind of putting the question out there, and we're gonna wait to see what the answer is. Like, oh yeah, maybe it's Heyman and Gunther now, or is it Heyman and Cody, or is Heyman going back to the bloodline? Like that's what it is. Tony Free. See, there's a reason why they do all these things. Is because
Look,
they wanna keep the crowd guessing. You can't just go in and go, yeah, that should have happened. No, you don't. They don't want you to know the answer. They want you to find it out yourself.
look at this rate. Cody Rhodes is becoming the tribal chief. He's going to wear the Ulafala alongside that dirty neck tattoo that he has. That's what that's telling me.
You know what's crazy is that like I've kind of forgotten that the tattoo's there. Is that wild? Maybe I'm used to it now. Is that crazy?
Yeah, I think you've just become immune to it. It still sticks out to me. It always has for the last
Damn.
8 years.
Hey man. Hey, I'm just thinking as well. This has to be like Tony Free. That's the headline from this show. Tony Free wants pro wrestling to be realistic.
Wrestling is real. They
Just
put on a
the
t-shirt.
juxtaposition.
They put it on a t-shirt. Fucking live by it.
Hey, and whose t-shirt was that? Really though, whose t-shirt was that? And with Travis Scott, we ain't seen his lame ass since 41. Anyways, Cody and Gunther set for Clash in Italy. Well, Saturday night's main event, we spoke about the Vision defending their tag champs against the Street Profits. We're also going to be getting Penta defending his Intercontinental Championship against Ethan Page. I mean, Javon Evans and Rusev are still, in the works. They're around the picture as well, but big opportunity for Ethan Page.
Yeah, I'm just not sure though if he's translating yet. It might still be early days. I'm not sure if he's getting that connection with the main roster audience right now. Like if we're comparing him to like when Trick came up, if we're comparing him to Sol Ruka, or even before that, like when Bron Breakker came up, and a lot of these guys like Oba, perfect example. Very underwhelming, I guess. Like it's not the same fanfare that we saw for those superstars when they came up. So I think it might take a while for Ethan Page to, I guess, connect. And my concern is that like seeing people like Jordan Grace, who came up with a lot of hype and then just not connect and then end up in the wilderness, I fear that Ethan Page might be going the same route.
Jordan Grace got hurt though, didn't she? I think she's hurt. I think she was injured. Ankle or something.
Maybe, but did we really care about what she was doing before she got hurt? Like, it was cool when she came up to the main roster, but then you're like, don't care.
Yeah, well, to be fair, hasn't really had a chance, if anything. She kind of did, I think, that Jade Cargill was up for like like maybe a month even, and then I think she got hurt, so she's only really, she's barely had a shot. Ethan Page, look, I'm kind of there with Ethan Page as well, where, I know he's good, I know he can do well, but I'm just not there yet. Maybe, give him a little bit more time and we'll get a little bit more from him there. Anything else, Tony Free?
Well, yeah, we spoke about it before, Los Gaza. These two guys got pulled out of catering for the Obafemi Open Challenge. They can't even find anyone now for the Obafemi Open Challenge.
That's great.
So this just backs up everything that I said last week and the week before. We can't have these things every single week because we're going to run out of guys for him to run through. Just make it PLEs only. Make this a special attraction. I don't want to see.
No,
I don't need to see Los Gaza getting pulled out of catering. There was a reason
why no one showed up.
Bro, these guys are getting retired. Los Gaza. I don't need to see these guys getting squashed. Like, let's think about it. Last 2 weeks, Otis, Los Garza, very forgettable.
Yeah.
Open challenge needs to be memorable.
Yeah, but but what's the story, Tony Free? There was a reason why no one showed up. It's because everyone's scared of Obafemi. Nobody wants to take him up on the Open Challenge. And you know what that sets up? Then that sets up later on being like, a Gunther, for example, being like, I'm not scared of you, bro. Let's do it. And then you get a big match there. But you need to you've got to build it up. You got to
What?
wait.
No, what they need to do.
You just got to follow the story, bro.
Look,
You're trying to jump the gun.
what they need to do, and Adam Pearce, it would make 100%, like, it would make perfect sense for Adam Pearce to do this. They need to make Obafemi the guy that, when someone does something wrong and you want to punish them, the match is with Obafemi. Same as what Teddy Long used to do with The Undertaker. That is how you book Obafemi. I think they did the same with when Eric Bischoff was GM and they was a 2 minute warning. Like, whenever someone was like
3 minute warning.
3 minute warning, 3 minute warning, like Bischoff would just feed guys to 3 minute warning as punishment. That's how you should be booking Obafemi. Make him the guy that, like, people are actually scared to have a match with. It shouldn't be an open challenge where they go, oh, look at me, I'm going to have a match this week. They should just feed guys to him as punishment. Oh, Adam Pearce says, oh, you threw me over the rope this week. You've got a match with Obafemi. It might not be Jacob Fatu. It won't be. But, like, if someone backstage is, like, in his face, interrupting him like they do every week and, putting their finger in his face and, oh, you should give me this, you should give me that. Fine. You've got a match with Obafemi. Problem solved. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, but that's what they're getting to. You said you want to build Obafemi into someone that people are scared of facing. That's what happened.
He just
Nobody
beat Brock
wanted to face
Lesnar.
him, so he just dragged him out. Yeah, but nobody wanted to face him. That's the you just said. You got to make him into someone that people are scared to fight. He didn't have a match because no one wanted to fight him. And then you do that for like a month or something. Or, no, maybe not that exactly, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get to that point
It needs to happen
where
next
Adam
week.
Pearce is gonna go
Next week.
Hey, bro. No, Tony Free, you are rushing. You're rushing, bro. You gotta kick back. You're trying to jump the gun. You gotta kick back and just watch it all unfold. That's what you gotta do.
Look,
man.
I just need
that's the way to watch wrestling, bro. You've
I
been
need a
doing this long
backstage
enough.
segment where someone's like interrupting Adam Pearce while he's talking to someone else, and then Adam Pearce just snaps as he usually does, and he goes, "For that, you will go 1-on-1 with Oba Femi," and that is official. Done.
But
Oba
also,
Femi,
that's what happened
crush them.
with Grayson Waller 2 weeks ago. That's what happened 2 weeks ago with Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller chirped up to Adam Pearce.
Keep running that. We don't need an actual open challenge at the moment.
Yeah.
Just feed guys to him as punishment.
Oh my. But that's what this is,
Bro,
Tony Free. That's what I'm saying. This is what that is. We're doing it.
Everybody is scared of this guy. I think the fact that they've had an open challenge made it seem like people were willing to take him on because they weren't scared of him. I feel like making him straight away as like a punishment, you're like, oh, fuck, I hope I don't fuck up this week of Adam Pearce because I might get fed to Obafemi. That's way more harder than, guys coming out thinking, oh, I'm a chance of pinning Obafemi tonight.
Yeah, and it might get there, but that's what I'm saying. You've got to build it up.
Nah,
You've got to build it up to then get to that point where it changes from an open challenge into a, well, can we find anyone? Is anyone actually willing to do it? It started as an open challenge. Mind you, started by Obafemi himself. He was the one that said, it's an open challenge. No one said it as that. He said it. Not Adam Pearce didn't make it up for him. Obafemi said, yo, I'm trying to fight. Who wants it? Open challenge. Pull up. And now we're starting to see nobody wants to fight Obafemi, and then we're gonna get to that. That's what I'm saying. TTF, you gotta chill out, man. You gotta let it happen. Let it all work out. Shout out to my boy Ebericha Eze.
Like, I've done the let it happen narrative too many times and been disappointed. When you've got lightning in a bottle, just fucking go for it. Don't stop freaking waiting. Stop waiting for this to simmer and saute. Just cook. Just cook.
Simmer and saute. Oh gosh. Hey man. Let's move on. Let's talk about this. I want to get your thoughts on this. Mason Rook signing to NXT. I did not know who the hell this guy was 2 weeks ago when he showed up on NXT. Still, I'm seeing clips of his work, in the UK.
What was his name? Something
Big
Cruz.
boy. And let me just say this. Yeah, Will Cruz, I think it was. Will Cruz. Let me say this, man. It's been a while since we've seen a fat wrestler, but it's time. This is it. I'm so glad that we've got this. Like the way he moves is great, but we haven't seen a fat wrestler in ages, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. Like that's just what it is. Gunther, when Gunther was Walter, he was holding that down, right? And he looked dangerous. And he, obviously he shed that weight. He's still dangerous to this day. But bro, hey, Mason Rook, hey, keep the weight, my boy. Let's go. Let's take it back to the old days. That's traditional wrestling right there.
I feel like WWE did him wrong by changing his look. So he used to have like a mullet, and he looked like so much more like intimidating than like clean cut, overweight white boy look that they've gone here. Like with the
maybe he cut it himself. He made that choice himself.
I don't know. He looked so much better as Will Cruz with the mullet. He just like the look was there for like a big guy. The look was perfect before. Now I don't like the look so much. I need him to grow his hair back.
That's your issue, is his hair? What about everything else?
Everything else was great, but like when he debuted, there was so much like. If you look at all the comment sections, everyone's like, "This guy looks like anyone. Like this looks like it could be anyone. Literally like a fan." Which may have been the point of like making it look like it was a fan, but like now that he's here, he needs to actually look the part. And having like, I think like the best way to put it is that he looked like one of those creator superstars in like the very generic mode that hadn't been modified yet.
I'm looking at photos of him with the mullet.
The mullet looked great. He looked great before. And then if you compare it to now, you're like, oh, go back to that look. He looked really good before with that mullet.
But are you excited to see how he plays that in NXT? 100%. Do you have high hopes for this guy?
A guy that big that can moonsault and things like that off the top rope, 100%. Like he's going to do some like crazy shit. But I think it was more like the presentation, like especially for like first impression on a new audience. I feel like your presentation has to be like to a T. And I just thought they did him a disservice there by making him look like any other generic creator wrestler in WWE 2K.
Hey man, Tony Free letting it fly from downtown here on today's episode of Graps and Yaps. Look, let's get out of here, man. We've covered a lot here. Thank you guys for joining us. If you made it this far, make sure you're following us on all social media and the YouTube where you can see our ugly mugs. It's all at Graps and Yaps, and also, of course, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Tony Free, anything exciting planned for this weekend for you?
Hey, this week, big week. Game 37 of the Premier League. So I need at least a point out of West Ham this week. I think we've either got Leeds or Everton, maybe. I can't remember who we've got, but desperate times right now. We need to
So
stay
you guys,
up.
yeah.
I think we got Leeds in our last game. We might have Everton this week.
You have Newcastle.
I got Newcastle
on Monday.
And
Newcastle Monday morning.
So I think Tottenham have Chelsea then Everton.
That's right.
Okay, that's where I'm getting mixed up. So
Tottenham have Chelsea next Wednesday. Sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, desperate times. It hasn't been a good week. The Sharks got fucking thrashed by the Bunnies last week as well. So need those guys to pick up the magic round.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good weekend of footy.
Yeah, that's it, man. Hopefully we can run it back this Friday, a magic round for the Bunnies, and also Arsenal can get, one step closer to that premiership. But look, let's talk about it next week. Tony Free, I'll see you then, brother.
Yeet.